Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 3, and today I'm gonna be giving you part 11 of What If Naruto Had Cosmic Energy. Remember to give this one to 100 likes as usual, share this to all of your friends in your social media platform, and also go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto Had the Rarest Bloodline over on Anime King 2. And enjoy that, guys. And he also posted a brand new episode over on Anime King of What If Naruto Was an Elite Blue Eye Uchiha. So go ahead and check out that and enjoy. And remember, if you're new, to go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become a part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support. And yeah, without further ado, what do you say begin this new episode? Start the intro. So, the last part we left off, as Naruto had encountered himself, he still had no idea what this thing was. It wasn't a clone. As it was real, it was there. The both of them started a fight, as Naruto was trying to figure out who the hell this thing was. Naruto watched as the thing shifted its arm into a tentacle. It could shift his body, things that he couldn't even do so quickly, as it started to attack him. It kept on asking him how he felt when Amara died, as Naruto didn't understand, as it kept on asking him over and over again. As Naruto finally told him what he felt, absolutely nothing. It was then that his copy looked at him with even more hate, as he attacked Naruto. He told Naruto that he was going to make sure he suffer by killing everyone that he loved. Naruto stopped playing around as he sliced off the tentacles and placed the blades at his attacker's throat. But the man slumped down in his arm as he was dying. A black mist was spreading out from his chest, killing him. As he told Naruto that he was the one that made him, he wanted to get rid of all that anger and pain, as we went into a flashback when Naruto was losing it when she had slit her wrist. And the power had left him because he didn't want to feel it anymore. Unknowing he had made his other half here. Going up against Naruto, it killed him for some reason, as he couldn't fight Naruto, but yet he hated him for abandoning him and not even knowing that he was out there. But he knew he was gonna die, at least he will never get to see him again. That was how much he hated Naruto right now at the moment. As the resentment ran deep, he died in Naruto's arms. Time passed as the explanation towards the ones that he hurt was quickly revealed, as they were told what happened. Hinata kept on apologizing over and over again, as she knew that he would never do something like that. And she was very sad that, well, she had rushed off, given the way that she had acted, but Naruto told her it was no problem. Time had passed as the group was making their way, as Naruto judged that it was because of what was going to happen soon at the village, the Chunin exams, as Jiraiya was going to be coming here soon to see him fight in the exams. Naruto felt something run down his spine and shiver. He then heard rapping, someone calling him Mr. 9, as everything died on his tongue right there. He was surrounded by 3 girls, all of them hunting him down to kill him. They were Karu, Samui, and Yugito, as Naruto had, dated all 3 of them at Kumo. And they found out because they were good friends, and now they wanted to kill him, as he literally had to run for his life. They eventually caught up to him, as he was backed up against a wall. He used his clever way of talking to smooth things out, and turned them against each other before he fled. He then ran into the Sand team as he started to flirt with Temari, really not learning from his mistakes. As he saw Gaara, as he could feel it, the boy was just like him. As Gaara and his siblings made their way off. Later that night, despite Sarutobi telling him not to, do anything out of the way, Naruto still went into his basement as he started to try to mess with this new ability of his, as he focused, but he ended up blacking out completely. as his mind went blank as he collapsed down unconscious. It took him some time to get it back, as he saw something there, a small mouse. He had just created this mouse and bring it to life. Yes, it was quite shocking. He wished it could talk though, so he could find out how exactly did he do this. The thing then spoke to him, shocking the hell out of him, as he wanted to find out what the hell was going on, and how exactly is this even real? What was he? To be able to create life out of nothing, although it had a drawback though, of knocking him unconscious and giving him a really terrible headache. After all, when he had created his other half, he spent a week unconscious. That was the first time he met Tsunade because Jiraiya did not know what to do. He had brought Naruto to a regular hospital, and they said that he was fine. So yeah guys, so basically that's where we left off. You guys can switch across the place and check it out for yourself. So this is begin this new episode. Haku sighed as she rubbed her forehead. Her name was no Haku Uzumaki, as Naruto had finalized everything, as she was now a part of his clan. Given that she was the first member he adopted into his clan, she would have higher say than anyone else that were to be adopted later or afterwards. And she could help him run things as well. At first she was overwhelmed with the responsibilities. Not that they were a lot, given that they haven't started anything yet, seeing that Naruto hadn't fully taken the seat as a clan head yet, because he's too young. But that was not the main issue right now. The thing was, she never was given so much responsibility yet, as she was a part of a well-known clan that was going to be rising soon in the future. She knew of course what Naruto had to do, as he had to be a part of the CRE Act, the Clan Restoration Act, so that he could populate his clan because he was the last male member of the Uzumaki clan. As that thought came to her head, her cheeks became a bit red when she thought about it, because she shook her head. That was not the main issue right now. Naruto-kun, she said, didn't the third Hokage give you specific orders not to do something like this? As Naruto looked up at her, scratching the back of his head. Yeah, kind of. But he's not gonna find out. After all, we're the only one that knows. He's not gonna say anything. And I trust that you are not gonna... Of course not, she said. My duty is to you first, other than the village, she said. As that was the way she saw it. After all, she was a part of this clan, and her loyalty was to him first. She sat down around the table. The small mouse on the table, he was completely white, fur looking like snow itself. He had red eyes as he looked at them. So, you brought him to life. Well, I kind of created him out of nothing. How exactly did you... Naruto sighed, that's the thing. Rimuru, he said. The mouse that he named Rimuru turned towards him. Yes, master? Would you mind telling Haku what you know? Yes. Rimuru then turned towards Haku. Absolutely nothing. Haku's sweat dropped at that, as she turned back to Naruto. What? Well, he doesn't even know what happened himself. The only thing he knows is that he has abilities. Yes, said Rimuru, as his body started to glow a deep purple, before his body twists and turned, as he transformed into a small fox cub. His fur was flowing white, deep crimson eyes, a long flowing tail. Did he just transform? Haku said. Yeah, it seems like Rimuru has the ability to shape-shift, said Naruto. Haku looked towards him. Into anything? As far as we see, yes, but it used up some of his cosmic energy. He has the same as you? Naruto had told Haku everything. After all, she was a part of his clan. There was no need to hide anything from her. Yeah, that's the strange part. As Naruto's eyes flashed purple, I can see coursing through his veins. He doesn't have as lot as me, but he has it. The more he transformed and the bigger animals he turned into, the more energy he used. Rimuru jumped from the table as he landed on Haku's shoulder. He looked towards her. Miss Haku, what is your relationship with my master? Haku's face turned a bit red. Are you his servant as well, said Rimuru, stopping Haku from saying anything. Seeing that was the best viable option, she nodded. Master, do you have more servants? Asked Rimuru. Ones like me that you created. Did you create Haku? Oh, I didn't create her, said Naruto. And she's not my servant. As Haku looked towards him, I've already told you that, Haku. You're an equal part of this clan as well. That made her cheeks blush red as she looked down for a second. As Rimuru hopped back to the table, before he stretched, looking like a cute Like a fox as he was. He then looked up at them dazedly. What now, he asked. What do you wish of me, master? Naruto scratched the back of his head. Well, I don't know. You don't mind if I get some rest then? No, do your thing, said Naruto. Rimuru body burst as it turned into the purple engine and flew into Naruto. As Naruto dressed back a bit. Where did he go? Haku asked. Well, he can re-enter my body. He's not mixing with my normal energy. He's just in there. I can literally feel him right now sleeping. And he can come out anytime he wish. Somehow it seems my body recharge him or something like that. To tell you the truth, Haku, I have no earthly idea. Haku sighed. As long as you don't do anything that will endanger your life or anyone else, it should be fine. And it's not like the Hokage will ever know about this, she said. Naruto smiled. I guess I can always count on you with that, he said, as he placed a hand on her head, making her blush even more. As he started to walk off. I'm gonna take a shower, he says. He made his way upstairs, making Haku blush at the thought. But she did not say anything as she got back up. She knew how, well, outgoing he could be. And he did not hide what was on his mind. But she knew the reason why he was not making advances towards her. He thought that she was still feeling pain over what happened. But she still didn't fully recover from that. But he just wanted to make sure she was fully comfortable. Always looking out for people before himself. That was how genuine and nice he was. That is what made her love him so much. As she blushed at the thought before making her way off. Well, for now, everything would just remain as it is. Time skip. The next day, as Naruto was currently in training round 7, as he was just standing there, his eyes closed. Tomorrow would be the Chunin exams. But that was not the problem at the moment. He was being followed. Ever since he came out of his house and made his way down the street, he felt someone tailing him. He had a good idea how it was, even though she was trying to hide her chakra signature really well. As he stood there, he felt it coming as he ducked, something swiping over his head. He then had to jump back up as something tried to take his legs out underneath him. On purpose though, he released himself as something hit him right in the stomach. As he fell down to the ground, she quickly dropped down on him, sitting right down on his waist, claws pressing down on his neck. Don't move, she said. As Naruto laughed nervously. Come on. We both know that you're not gonna... He stopped talking as she pressed the claws further. As Yugito looked him deep in the eyes. We both know that you're not gonna do what, Naruto-kun, she said. As Naruto could feel the things nicking at his skin. You know, these things are really sharp. For some reason, they just make you more sexy, he said. She looked at him. That's not gonna work, she said. Why? Did you allow me to hit you? She asked. What are you talking about? You've just gotten faster. Oh, don't flatter me, Naruto-kun. We both know what you're capable of. It's only been a couple of months. You must have gotten a lot stronger. So, don't take me for a joke. I know you want to take your revenge on me. So go ahead, said Naruto. I won't fight you. She pressed her claws further as he felt it nicking against his skin, but he simply closed his eyes. He didn't feel anything else as she pulled back her claws. He opened his eyes only to get a punch right in his face, leaning his head to the side. Huh, kitten, you gotten stronger. She slapped him. You have no right to call me that again, she said, as Naruto looked at her. Before he flipped, as he flipped her over and pushed her onto the ground. He held onto her wrist so she couldn't move, as he looked her directly in the eyes. And why can't I call you kitten again? You used to really like it. Don't tell me you're over me, he said, as he whispered in her ears. You're acting like you're nothing special. You're easy to get over, she said. Come on, then why are you acting this way? You know, I can literally feel the excitement coming off of you with me being so close. Tell me that you don't feel it, said Naruto. You must have gone delusional. Am I wrong, Naruto asked. As he started to lean in, she did not stop his advance. But then suddenly her eyes hardened as she brought her knee and slammed it right. Naruto's eyes widened. Mother of God, he said as he rolled over, clutching onto his groin. She got up. You deserve that, she said. But right here? Anywhere else but there, he said, his voice straining. She had a smug look on her face. After what you did, you really deserve that. He really wanted to tell her that he was in a CRA act, and he had to do it for his clan. Well, he didn't know that back then, but if he told her this right now, she'd probably just get more mad, so he just decided to keep that to himself for now. Look, I've already apologized over and over. You lied directly to my face. Hey, I didn't really lie. What do you mean, she said. I just didn't tell you that I was seeing the others. And we weren't even doing anything past mere kissing and hugging and a bit of touching, so it's not like we push it beyond the limits. Naruto picked himself up slowly, only for her to kick him right again as he dropped to his knees. You jerk, she said. Unknown to him, he was the first guy that she's ever been with and ever kissed. That is why she reacted so violently as she tried to run off, only for her hand to be grabbed as she saw Naruto's face scrunch up in pain. Mother of God, he said. You see how much pain I'm going through just for you? But I caused it, she said. Now let me go before I do it again. As he looked down. Look, we have to squash this, he said. I really don't want you to hate me. And at the same time, I really can't let you keep on kicking me just for you to feel pleasure out of making me suffer. She brought her foot up, but he blocked it. Come on. Let's go back to the old days when he pulled her as he scooped her up in his arms rather quickly. She felt her heart flutter by the touch. When I used to sweep you off your feet and hop through the trees, bring you towards our special spot, he said. She brought her fist up as he blocked it. As he gently laid her down, she brought her leg up as he had to leap over to the side. Come on, stop hating me, he said to her. Never, she said. She tried to punch him again as he had to leap away from her as she slowly got back up to her feet. You cheated on me, you jackass. We never said that we were going steady or anything like that. So please tell me, how could you call that cheating? Her eyes hardened once again. She pulled out kunais and shurikens as she started to throw them after him, forcing him to dodge all of them coming his way. He brought his arm up as one of them struck him. She watched as he fell back. A look of concern washed over her face. But he was a Jinchuriki. She saw blood coming from his fingers as he placed over the wound. She quickly moved forward, only for him to sweep over her legs and flipped her over as he pinned her down. You're not red dye, said Naruto, as he had the dye on his finger. As she sighed, he once again caught her, just because she was too soft on him. Alright, let's talk, he said. As he released her. Look, if you're gonna punch me, just do what you have to do, but just not the face or the groin, okay? You can exact your revenge for what I did to you. He closed his eyes, waiting for the punishment, only to feel something soft touch his lips. As he opened his eyes, she was kissing him. His mind quickly snapped back into focus as he started to kiss her back. His hands wrapping her in her waist, pulling her close, making her sit on his lap. As the both of them leaned into it, the both of them realized that in mid-air they broke apart as he gasped for breath. That was amazing, said Naruto, as she had a big blush on her face. But I thought you wanted to kill me, he asked. As much as I hate you, I still like you, she said. I'm gonna forgive you because we didn't put a title on anything. And you're right, we never said that we were going out as boyfriend and girlfriend. But if you ever do something like that again, I'll make sure Naruto stop her. There's something I have to tell you. Well, you see, he said rather fast, I'm the last member of my clan. So they put me under an act called the CRA Act, where I have to be with multiple wives. And, well, repopulate my clan because I'm the last member. So I can't exactly be with you alone. I'm really sorry about that. I really hope you can understand. And with that, he was gone. He just rushed off in a blur, leaving her there surprised by once again, as he was gone out of her sensory range. His speed has truly gotten impressive. But what the hell did he just say? She got her feet. Get back here, she shouted. But he was already long gone, and there was no way that she could catch him now. Later that day, at least he was safe inside his compound. As tomorrow would be the Chunin exam, they would see him then. He didn't want to end up bucking into Samui or Karu. Karu was the most violent out of all of them, and Samui act like she was calm, but then she just attacked like a viper. So he had to keep himself a distance. Yugito, despite her, well, stronger demeanor, was always a soft one, underneath. He really thought that he was safe inside his compound. Really thought. Meanwhile, on the street, Kakashi was making his way when he was suddenly stopped by a blonde. She had blue eyes as she looked up at him. "Excuse me, can you tell me where your genuine student, Naruto Uzumaki, lives?" she asked. Kakashi looked at her as he noticed a headband, Kumo. This was one of the girls that were chasing Naruto yesterday. From what he could, well, sum up, it was because of Naruto's behavior with the ladies. So she probably was angry at him for what he did to her in the past or something like that. There was no ill intent to really harm him, but just to, well, hurt him a bit for what he did. Kakashi was about to make up an excuse or something, but he then remembered when his head constantly hit on his ceiling after Naruto kept on shrinking his house, just to make him stop reading his book and train the others. And when Naruto kept on messing with him by shrinking his tree, not many people know this, but Kakashi had a tree in his back of his yard that he kind of liked for some odd reason. It just gave him a calm, peaceful peace of mind. Yeah, sense of mind. And Naruto kept on shrinking it, just to mess with him when he caught him one day. You know what? Yes, of course I'll tell you where he lives. Time skip. As Naruto was currently sweating, as he just put in a long, harsh workout. He wasn't wearing a shirt, only black pants, as the sweat was rolling down him. When he looked down his arm, someone is at the gate. Making his way towards the gate, not bothering to put on his shirt, he froze in surprise as he saw Samui standing there with that sweet smile on her face. He gulped. Samui, how did you find you? "Oh, I have my way," she said. "Can you let me in?" she asked. He looked at her. "Why?" "Oh, I miss you. I just don't talk," she said. "You miss me, huh?" said Naruto as he started to back away. "Naruto-kun, are you really gonna leave me out here? Remember the last time when you do something that idiotic?" Naruto gulped as a thought came to his mind. "Alright, fine. I'll let you in, but don't do anything rash." "Why would I?" she said. He looked down toward his arm as he turned the seal. The gate's ceiling matrix fell down as she pushed the gate open and walked inside. "Your house is rather large," she said. "I never expected this." She looked around. "Yeah, would you like a tour?" She looked towards him as she couldn't stop her eyes from glancing over his, well, tweaked muscles despite his age, and the sweat glistening off him just made him look 10 times hotter for some reason. "Oh, you like what you see?" She simply smiled. The smile was too sweet. "Look, I know you're here because you're pissed. You hide your anger well than the other girls, so just do it. I can't bother with your mind game. It's too strong for me. I mean, you've always been the best one out of the others. I'm not trying to say bad things about them or anything, but you've always just been the best. I mean, just look at you. You look like a goddess with that body of yours. I don't want to be a perv, but your chest. Mother of God," said Naruto. "You're intelligent, smart, quick. Everything about you is just perfect. I didn't know why I waste my time going after the other two. I just feel so stupid for letting you go. So go ahead, do your worst." As he closed his eyes, he opened his eye the slightest to see her cheeks blushing red as he closed back his eyes. "Do you really mean all of that?" "Of course I do," said Naruto. "Well then, I guess I could forgive you." She opened her arms. "I am a bit sweaty," he said. "I don't mind." As Naruto stepped forward, only to have his eyes opened wide when she kicked him right in the nuts. As Naruto dropped towards his knees, his head dropping on the ground. "Why?" he said, his voice coming out as a squeak. Suddenly, something rushed from his body and quickly tied her in her body. Two long fangs extended from the thing's mouth and ready to plunge down her skin. "Rimuru, stop!" The viper at her throat paused midway. She's a friend. Don't hurt her. Master, she hurts you. No, Rimuru, she's a friend. It's nothing too bad. See? I'm fine, said Naruto, trying to hide that he was not in pain. Samui was shot. The thing was so fast, she had barely saw it, as she was now unable to do anything as the fangs were dripping right at her throat to bit into it. Are you sure you're okay, Master? Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, and unless I tell you to attack someone, please don't do it. He spoke to Rimuru before he went to see Yugito because he knew that she was following him, as he told Rimuru that he was a friend. So Rimuru didn't attack, but seeing Samui hit him, and Master did not say anything, Rimuru decided to attack. He burst back into the purple ore and sank back into Naruto. I'm not even gonna ask what that was, said Samui. Must be some secret technique of yours. You always have your secret, but that was really strange. Yeah, you're telling me, said Naruto. Well, it wouldn't have done anything if you hadn't kicked me in the nuts. Shouldn't I get some payback? She asks. Fine, I guess you're right. Naruto went through a series of hand signs before his body started to turn red. The sweat on his skin started to extinguish as his body heated up, as he circulated the fire chakra through his system. He then moved forward, making her step back. Oh, it's not gonna be that easy, as he pulled her in close. Despite her tough demeanor as well, she has always been the more, well, submissive type. Don't tell me you don't miss this, he said. You know, I really missed you a lot, even though it has only been a couple of months. I really wish that you were hearing me, instead of having to go back home to your village. I mean, I meant every single word of what I said. I truly believe that you're the best, he said, as his hands gripped her on her waist. It made her blush. That's cool, she said, trying to keep her tone level. Come on, Samui. It's been a while. Why do we have to hold back our emotions? She knew that he was getting to her with this, as she really didn't want to give in to temptation. They had promised to not do anything. They had promised to get their revenge. They had made a bond to each other, and yet here she was, as she couldn't help herself as their lips connected to each other, sharing a passionate kiss. The both of them broke apart. You got to me again, she said. She pushed him back and ran away. As Naruto sighed, he made his way back to the house to get some rest. The only person that he did not see that day was Karu. Seemed like she was sticking to what she meant. Meanwhile, at the hotel, Karu was inside, as she was having a vivid dream. Both her and Naruto on a deserted island. The both of them not wearing any clothes at all. The cool, gentle breeze. All he was doing was pampering her body with kisses. I love you. He kept on muttering over and over again. And every time he said it, it brought joy to her face. Pure, blissful joy, as the both of them continued kissing. Yes, that was her splendid dream that she was having at the moment, as she had to fight all of her urge not to leave the hotel to go and see him to find him where he was, as they all had made a pact. Little did she know the two other girls had broke it. The next morning, I don't want you to be bored here all alone. I'm gonna be fine, Naruto-kun, said Haku. Just go and pass the exams. After all, we both know that you're already gonna pass, she said with a blissful smile. I still don't want you to be alone, he said. Oh, I know. Hey, Rimuru. Rimuru came out of his body, in his mouse form. Stay with Haku and keep her company, okay? Haku, he doesn't really know how to define friends from foe. Can you teach him that as well? Said Naruto. Of course, she said. Master, are you sure you're gonna be okay? Rimuru asked. Yes, I'm gonna be fine, said Naruto. Alright then. I guess wait. Haku came forward, as he was taller than her. She gestured for him to lean down a bit. He did, as she kissed him right in the cheek. He looked at her. For good luck. Well, with that, how could I lose, he said, as that made her blush as Rimuru jumped on her shoulder. See you soon, Master, he said. Yeah, see you guys soon, said Naruto, as he winked at Haku before he headed off. Miss Haku, your face. Is it gonna burst? What do you mean? Well, it's getting red. So red. Haku tried to calm her blush. It's fine, Rimuru, she said. Oh, come on. Hey, Do you eat? She asks. He looked up. I know what the concept of eating is, but I'm sorry, but I don't know. Well then, let's see if you'd like anything. Come on, she says. She brought him inside as Naruto made his way towards the academy, as he already had his forms. After all, Hinata came over and passed it to him. Before they could enter, they had to pass it over, as he saw his two teammates there waiting for him. Sasuke leaned up against the wall. As Sasuke has trained a lot in these past few months, he was excited as he was wearing his blue shirt with the Uchiha crest on the back, with his white pants and bandages wrapped around his legs, and his sandals. Hinata was dressed differently, as she wasn't wearing that bulky jacket again. After all, her confidence had skyrocketed in the past few months, changing her a lot. She wanted to be seen as the new upcoming clan head, the one that would change everything, so she changed her clothing. Now she was wearing a skirt that went, well, near down to her knees. It wasn't really that long. She was wearing a white jacket with blue trimming around the neckline and the arms, with a pattern like angel wings on the back. She was even growing out her hair because Naruto told her he liked it when it was longer, as it reached down to her shoulder by now, as she was making it grow down even more. This wouldn't have been possible if it wasn't for her big brother, as she really appreciated him for everything so far, as she had on dark grey sandals and a black shorts under her skirt. You're here, she said with a smile. It's about damn time, said Sasuke, as he looked at his arm. You know you're not wearing a watch, right? Sasuke looked back at Naruto with his eye twitching. Well, I'm just pointing out the obvious, said Naruto. Sasuke simply sighed. Let's go, he said, as the three of them made their way inside. As for Naruto, he was wearing his black jacket with a red t-shirt underneath. The jacket was sleeveless, so the long sleeve red shirt was being shown. He had on black on-full pants with black boots, and he had that medium-sized scroll around his back. And he had two arm warmers on his arms, hiding something underneath his wrists. The group made their way inside, as Naruto noticed they arrived at the second floor, yet he saw many people standing there. He narrowed his eyes towards the two men that was standing right at the door. He could clearly see that they were under transformation. Sasuke noticed that as he grit his teeth to move forward, as Naruto placed a hand on his shoulder. Come on, don't spoil this. Can't you see what they're doing? What, said Sasuke. Well, they're making sure that the ones who don't deserve it go into the Chunin exams. Sasuke, this will be difficult. If they end up passing through the first stage and going into the second, they might end up getting killed because of you. Do you really want something like that on your conscience? Naruto asks. Sasuke scoffed at that, but he didn't walk over there. Hinata could see clearly as well. But shouldn't we help then, Naruto-kun? As Naruto looked around the room, before he saw someone was knocked down to the ground. He was wearing a green spandex. Now this is strange, he said. He made his way over with the two following behind him. As Naruto looked down at the boy, Lee looked up. Ah, Naruto-kun, he says. He jumped to his feet. He quickly took Naruto's arm and shook it. It's been a long while, my friend. I'm looking forward towards a spar between you and I again, he said. In due time, said Naruto with a smile, as Tenten came over as she hugged him. Naruto-kun, she said, before she pulled back and punched him right in the arm. Ow, what was that for? You didn't visit me, she said. Well, I did the last... It's been 2 weeks. Sorry about that, I was kind of busy. You know, mission and all. Just because we're ninjas, I'll forgive you for this one. Oh, sorry, said Naruto as he turned around. Guys, this is Rock Lee. Pleasure to be at your acquaintance, said Lee as he gave him a thumbs up. This is Tenten Higurashi. As Tenten smiled at them. Nice to meet you. And this is Sasuke Uchiha. And this is Hinata Hyuga. Tenten looked at Hinata before glancing back as Neji walked over. He glanced towards Naruto. You could see the look in his eyes. Huh. Seems like that guy really doesn't like you, said Sasuke, as he didn't say it quietly or anything, so they heard him. Yeah, that's just because he's a prick, said Naruto as he turned towards Sasuke, completely ignoring Neji. He really pissed me off most of the time. Always acting like he is the better. But in the upcoming tests, I'm sure that we're gonna fight each other. And I really hope we get paired up with Hinata, for her to kick his ass all over the arena. Neji scoffed at that, as Naruto turned to face him. You just wait and see. Neji turned towards Hinata to give her a rather displeasing look, but she met his gaze firm. She did not turn away, she did not cower. She just looked back at him, but she gave him a soft smile anyway. He scoffed. Hey Tenten, you know that's not the real door, right? What do you mean? Well, that's an illusion. Lee looked at the door. Illusion? You see what I mean? This guy's a prick. He knows that that's an illusion, but he didn't tell his friends. Neji, is that true? I didn't feel like it was necessary for me to tell you guys. It should be quite obvious, said Neji. Yeah, I see what you mean now, said Sasuke. He's even worse than me. As Naruto laughed. Huh, making a joke of yourself to make fun of someone else. No, you're getting it, Uchiha, he said. I guess I've taught you well, as he patted Sasuke on his head, showing his height difference between them. Sasuke slapped away his hand. Let's just keep going, he said. As Hinata nodded at Neji and his group, Neji did not move. Come on, Neji, let's go, said Tenten. Allow them to go along, said Neji. Why do you hate him so much, Tenten asked. Neji said nothing. As Tenten sighed, Lee had a smile on his face as he moved forward, only for Tenten to grab his hand. Don't even think about it. What are you talking about, he said. You were gonna go and challenge Naruto. Don't even think about it, she said as she stopped him. Alright, fine, he said. Let's go. Meanwhile, the group arrived at the door. Kakashi-sensei? Hinata said. What are you doing here, said Sasuke. I'm just here to wish the three of you good luck. And made sure that the three of you were here. After all, if one of you hadn't showed up, you wouldn't have been able to take the exam. What? Said Sasuke. And why didn't you tell us this? Well, I knew that the three of you would show up, he said, as he shrugged. As he gave him a thumbs up. Good luck, he said. Hinata and Sasuke seemed to walk past as he made their way in the room. But Sasuke was there, staring at him. You bastard, said Naruto. Whatever do you mean, Kakashi asked. I asked Hinata and I asked Sasuke. No one else but them, the old man. The council members knew about where I live, but some of them. The rookies of my year do not know where I live. So the only person left is you. You told her where I live, didn't you? I have no idea what you're talking about. Naruto's eyes smiled, mimicking Kakashi. Oh, so that is how you want to play it, huh? Well, I have no problem playing that way. Wait, what do you mean by that, said Kakashi. As Naruto's eyes smiled, I have no idea what you're talking about. Naruto! Wait, Kakashi said! As Naruto simply walked inside. Kakashi stopped. What the hell has he done? He knew what was going to happen if he got caught. And no, Naruto knew that he was the one that sent the girl by his apartment. Well, he thought that it would work out in his favor, but it clearly did not, if that eye smile was anything to take notice of. He quickly made his way home to make sure everything was in proper form, and to put a seal up to make sure Naruto could enter his perimeter. But all the seals that he knew, Naruto could bypass them. After all, he has been training with Jiraiya in the sealing arts. What the hell is he gonna do? When Naruto stepped in the room, he saw Hinata and Sasuke standing there. The both of them, everyone is looking at them. As Naruto stepped in with a smile. Hey everyone, my friend Sasuke here says that you're all losers. As he pushed Sasuke in the path and moved Hinata away. Everyone started to glare at Sasuke. Sasuke looked at Naruto with a rather evil look, as Naruto simply smiled at him before Sasuke walked over. As the steering contest started to lessen down. What the hell, Sasuke said. Come on, you act like you don't want the attention, said Naruto. I mean, you do want to test your strength against everyone here, right? Sasuke thought about it, before he simply scoffed and shrugged. As Naruto looked around, as he saw several set of familiar eyes looking over towards him, but he simply turned his head, ignoring them. Playing the one hard to get in this scenario, seeing if they will take the hard task of coming up to him. His eyes glanced Karu, as she turned her head, acting like she was ignoring him as well. So that's how they want to play it. Well then, he can play that way as well. I'll be right back, guys, said Naruto as he walked over. But he turned the last moment as he went over toward the wall. Gaara, eyes looked up at Naruto, but Naruto ignored him. Before Kankuro could say anything, hey there, beautiful, said Naruto. Temar couldn't help the small blush that came on her face. But she fight it down, seeing her brother there. What do you want, she said. Oh, I just came here to give you a compliment. I mean, after all, you're the most stunnedest girl in this room. Why shouldn't I give you that compliment? Thanks. You can go now. Still playing hard to get. I told you, I wasn't like these other kunoichis. So don't think that your flattery would work on me that easily. Huh. Alright then. Let's see about that. And what's that supposed to mean? Oh, you see, I'm like a viper, a snake. I just attack when you don't seem to notice and worm my way into people's hearts. So that is when I'll strike. Huh. You really think you're that smooth, she said. We'll just have to see about that, shall we? As he gave her a wink. As Naruto simply walked off, he felt the eyes of the others looking at him as he smiled to himself. The moment he made his way back to Sasuke and the others, someone leaped as he had to caught her right in his arms. Naruto-kun, I miss you so much, said Ino as she wrapped her arms around him. As Naruto simply held on back to her. I missed you too, he said. Meanwhile, over towards the corner, as Amoy heard something scraping, he turned his head to see Yugito claws scraping against the stone wall, tearing it. Naruto was really messing with fire, and he was gonna get burned. As he placed down Ino, it's been a long while, she said. You've been on constant mission, I hardly see you. Yeah, we have just been spread thin with these missions. Hey, you guys here as well? Said a voice. As Choji came in, with Kiba, and Shikamaru came in afterwards. And Shino and Sakura came in as well. Shikamaru sighed. You're here? Well then. This is gonna be troublesome, he says. He looked at Naruto. Yeah, I bet you wish you could just sleep through all of this and wake up tomorrow, right? Huh, you know me too well, said Shikamaru. Hey, Naruto, I've been hearing a lot about you, said Kiba. Oh? Like what? Well, most of the girls around the village have been saying your name. Oh, is that so? Said Naruto, as he looked towards Ino as he saw her frown. Like recently, I passed by this girl, and I heard her talking about this guy with blonde hair and blue eyes. I asked her if it was you she was talking about, and she said yes. How did I know, Naruto-kun? I told her I was in the same grade as you, as she told me how lucky I was. What the hell makes you so special? Kiba felt Akamaru whimper. What's wrong, boy? Kiba looked up as he received several dead glares, but they weren't aimed at him. They were aimed at Naruto. All the girls in the room. Well, not all of them, but most of them. Hey, what the hell is going on? You should really know when to keep your mouth shut. I was trying to play it cool, but you've just turned up the heat on me. You know, if I die tomorrow, this is your fault. What are you talking about? Naruto sighed. You're clueless, he said. Just look around, Kiba. Why do you think they're all so angry? No. No, said Kiba as he stepped back. It can't be. Impossible. Kiba turned towards Sasuke. You're on the same team as him. He's joking, right? Sasuke simply ignored him, making Kiba scoff as he turned towards Hinata. Hinata, you wouldn't lie. These girls, he's not with them, right? Well, I'm sorry to say, Kiba-kun, but it looked like he was with them, she said. Kiba stepped back as he went in the corner and curled up, as Akamaru started to bark to put his master back in a good mood. But he just kept on mumbling to himself. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. As Naruto burst out laughing, the girls in the room tension lessened, as his warm laughter vibrated through the room. Come on, Kiba, cheer up, said Naruto as he patted him on the shoulder. You would reach there one day, he said. How? How could I ever? I don't even have a girlfriend yet, he says. He looked around. But you, how is that possible? Hey, Kiba. You have a sister, right? Yeah. Her name is Hana. She's the one that deal with the vet at your compound. Where the hell are you going with this, Naruto? No, it's nothing like that. She just know a friend of mine. Uncle. And why do you want to know my sister? Easy. I just heard that she was a clan head daughter, so I figured that she was your sister, so I just clarify. You better watch it. I'll mess you up bad, said Kiba. For what, said Naruto? If you touch my sister. Come on, Kiba, we're friends. I wouldn't do something like that. Or would I? Kiba bared his fangs at Naruto. Naruto, I'm warning you, he said. Hey, you guys are being... Naruto paused as he seemed to jerk. He turned his head slowly, way too loud. The boy standing there said, as Naruto didn't know what the hell was going on, but for a second there, something threw his senses off. Something about this guy right here. Who the hell was he? And who the hell are you telling us that we're being too loud? Asked Kiba. Easy, I'm not here starting a problem. Just look. As the others in the room were staring at them, Naruto backed away from the situation as he leaned up against the wall. What the hell was that? Hinata took note of that as she came over. Is everything okay, Naruto-kun? Yeah. Just had a really bad feeling. When that guy showed up, right? You noticed that? Yeah, I saw you move strangely. What was the feeling, she asked. Can't really tell myself, but it was off. That guy, he seems like bad news for some reason. As Naruto's eyes turned purple. Especially since he's suppressing his chakra. Hinata has to say that Naruto's eyes were good. Despite not being a dojutsu, Naruto could see someone's chakra and their life force, like how dark they were. He said that he could tell that their soul was tainted for some reason, and she didn't know how he could do that. It was just one of his many abilities. Before the conversation could escalate though, there was a poof as Ibiki Marino appeared in the room. Alright maggots, sit down and shut the hell up, as we're gonna be taking part in the first part of the Chunin exams, the written tests. As Naruto's eyes landed on the man, Ibiki sighed as Naruto smiled. Hey, what's up, Scarface? Said Naruto. As Ibiki eyed twitch at the name, before he smirked. You should know I'm the one in charge. So, there will be no cheating, especially from you. Like how you cheat on the game. Look, for the 1,000th time I didn't cheat, said Naruto. Uncle had brought Naruto to a poker game between her, Ibiki, and a few others. The two gate guards were there as well, Izumo and Katetsu. And Naruto was, well, he cleaned all of them out. He literally cleaned them out. Ibiki had a feeling that Naruto was cheating, but he just couldn't prove it. Because Naruto kept on laughing every time he won. And he was doing it on purpose as well. And him and Anko then bought a lot of liquor. And that night they caused chaos in the village. 10 group of envoys were sent to check out the forest of death. When they heard the screams of anguish and suffering came from everywhere. But it was just Naruto and Anko. They were slaughtering all the spiders inside. And some other creatures. In their drunken state, they were causing too much mayhem and destruction. The envoys had to come to subdue them. Especially Naruto. As for a brat, he was incredibly strong. And not to mention he was faster than them. If you could somehow believe that. He was outrunning them. To the point where they had to circle around and back him up. As long as you don't take your anger out on me, Scarface, said Naruto. Keep calling me that and we'll see what happened, said Ibiki. As Naruto sighed as he was placed down in his seat. As him and his team was separated. As Naruto felt someone sit down to his right, he smiled as he saw it was Temari. She simply scoffed. Stop looking at me, he said. Can't help it. Too beautiful. A kunai was thrown as embedded right into his decks. Be quiet, Ibiki said. As he put on a cocky smirk, knowing that he was the one in charge here. Naruto backed off as he picked up the kunai and simply threw it back as Ibiki caught it. He put on his cocky smirk once again. Alright, now let me explain the rules, he said. As Naruto found it rather odd as he explained the rules. If they were caught cheating, they weren't going to be disqualified. They were just going to be losing points. When the test was placed down in front of them, Naruto was shocked because these questions were hard. They weren't supposed to know this. As Naruto then felt it, a feeling of, well, it was a weird feeling to describe, but to feel like the person didn't want to get caught. It was the same feeling that he felt from that silver-haired medic that called himself Kabuto, but he was releasing it less than everyone else. But the guys in the room, as Naruto took note of them, they were releasing that same feeling. As they were already done. That was strange. As Naruto looked at them, he looked towards the corner as he saw the rest of the man that Ibiki brought in. Some of them weren't there. That means it could only be... Oh. So it's to gather information. As Naruto could see right into the paper, Naruto reached into his pouch as he pulled out one of his other pens. He changed the structure and the thing turned into a firework rocket. Before, he harnessed the fire nature chakra to his fingertips. As he rubbed the edge of the string, it started to sizzle. As he released it under the decks, it flew straight towards the board and boom! The entire place was lit up. Naruto quickly switched his paper with the guy's paper, seeing that he hadn't write his name yet. Ibiki looked around, as he felt no chakra outburst, so he had no idea who did that. The Chunin looked down and saw that his answers were gone. What the hell? Hey guys, said Naruto. Hinata and Sasuke blink. Don't worry, it's me. I'm gonna relay the information to your mind. As Naruto rubbed out the guy's name and write his name, Sasuke simply smirked. It seems that Naruto had got the answer. As Hinata wondered if this was cheating. But then she saw other people around her cheating. Okay, Naruto-kun, she said in her mind. Alright, listen up. But guys, be and subscribe right here. If you want to see the next part of this video, do like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on the bell notifications to be posted. But I'm over now. See you guys soon. Peace.